of Advanced Islamic Studies, in collaboration with the Allied Coordinating Council of Islamic NGOs, is here. We listen to the talks. Let us also ignite the spirit of humanism within us, which will help us to create a better future for all that matter. My respected brothers and sisters, noble personalities, gentlemen of the press, I honorably welcome you to this event, The Legacy of Malcolm X, A Journey of Empowerment and Equality. I am the CEO, Allied Coordinating Committee of Islamic NGOs Malaysia, and inshallah, I have the privilege to welcome him to give the speech. Sir, you are very much welcome as you help me welcome him to the stage. Thank you very much.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Okay. Bahagia Datuk Dr. Muhammad Nur Manuti, Chairman of Institute of Islamic Understanding Malaysia. Professor Dr. Mazli Malik, Chairman of IAIS Malaysia. Professor Dr. Syed Farid Al-Atas from the National University of Singapore. Associate Professor Dr. Ridwan Fontaine, Kuliah of Economics and Management Science, IIUM. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. We finally meet today in an interesting forum on the legacy of Malcolm X, a journey of empowerment and equality. Ladies and gentlemen, let me just explain the story behind the event. And some of you may wonder how come we ended up doing this forum on Malcolm X. It started in 15th of February 2020 when we had Exin Appreciation Night dinner. And the host was none other than the Prime Minister in waiting, Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim. He was the Prime Minister in waiting at the time. So when he was speaking, he spoke about the struggles of Malcolm X. And to our surprise, he asked Exin to come up or to do a forum on the struggles and the achievements of Malcolm X. And early this year, when we had a program here in IAIS, I mentioned this to Dr. Mazli Malik, and he immediately said, yes, let's do it. Yeah? The event today is on live stream. I'm sure there's a lot of people watching. And while we were on the stage talking about Kashmir, Dr. Mazli Malik was already giving me the possible panel members for the event. You know, he works very fast. And one of the first names that came up was Dr. Ridwan Fontaine. So here we are. And our sincere thanks to IAS, yeah, working with a professional group, yeah, Dr. Badri, Haji Iman, Brother Iman, yeah, Iman, Mohaimin, and the whole team. We had a very good working relationship, and we hope in the future to work together on issues of common interest. Ladies and gentlemen, Malcolm X, born Malcolm Little in 1925, He had a name given by his slave masters, and he was a formidable figure in the fight for the civil rights and a staunch advocate for empowerment of American or African Americans. His journey from a troubled youth to a leading voice of the Nation of Islam and later an independent activist for racial equality and human rights is both inspiring and transformative. His legacy continues to resonate in the struggle for justice and equality today. His name changes, ditching his given slave name of Little to X, indicates his search for a true African roots. And after discovering real Islam, he changed his name to Malik al-Shabazz, taking the name of our dear Professor Dr. Malik Badri, of Gombak. Yeah, he was here, he died here, and he was buried in Gombak. So there is a Malaysian connection to Malcolm X. Malcolm X met Dr. Malik Badri in Khartoum in 1959. Yeah? Understanding about Islam, Dr. Malik Badri explained to him about the real Islam, the true Islam. And when he became a Muslim, he went to search and look for Professor Malik Badri, and he met him in Beirut. Yeah? And Prof. Malik Badri, in one of his videos, he was saying that he's sure that the word Malik, the name Malik, was actually named after his name, which is Professor Malik Badri. So that's a small historical tidbit for us. This event aims, ladies and gentlemen, to commemorate his contributions to the civil rights movements and his enduring impact on the quest for racial justice and empowerment. By examining his philosophies and the changes he advocated, we seek to inspire current and future generations to continue his work in promoting equality and justice for all. Okay, where does I come? How do I get the slide? Boleh. Next slide, please. Slide. Okay. Boleh? Not working. This one? Where? Which one? Which one? One. Where do you point? Battery. Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay, this is a story, I think just a very quick feel of the amount of discrimination that has happened to blacks and coloreds, for example, in the US. In 1948, George McLaurin was the first black man admitted to the University of Oklahoma. University of Oklahoma. He was forced to sit in a far corner from his white classmates, but his name remains on the honor list of one of the top 3 students in the university. Here is his words. Some colleagues looked at me like I was an animal. No one gave me a word. The master seems to be there for me and didn't take my questions. But I devoted myself so much that afterwards, they started looking for me to explain and clarify their questions. Ladies and gentlemen, this slide is an indication. A picture speaks 1,000 words. This is a textbook apartheid in an inhuman, injustice environment far from the American dream. Blacks and coloreds are absolutely subjugated, demeaned, ostracized to an extent that it affects their self-esteem, such that collectively they are not able to function and compete productively as a segment of society. The significance, I think, of Malcolm X's impact on the civil rights movement is immeasurable. His advocacy for Black pride, self-defense, and human rights challenged the status quo and inspired countless individuals to fight for their rights. This event not only honors his memory, but also serves as a reminder of the ongoing struggle for equality and justice. By reflecting on his life and teachings, we aim to empower participants to take concrete steps towards creating a more just and equitable society. And Malcolm X was a great, great orator. He was able to move people in large numbers. And I had the honor, or rather the honor of experience in the early 80s when I was studying in the United States of America. One of our Muslim reverts, black Muslim who was in our masjid, he said, "Let's go. Come on, Brother Jamal, let's go and see this lecture from this man." It was in 1984, the presidential campaign. Ronald Reagan was seeking re-election. So we drove there, we went to a hall, there was about 1,000 people waiting. And there it was, there he was, yeah. Not Malcolm X, I'm not that old. It is Reverend Jesse Jackson. He was there speaking for more than 1 hour, and he mesmerized the crowd with his oratory skills. It was fantastic. I even remember some portions of his speech until today. 1984, 30 years ago. So, I mean, it's a fantastic. So I can imagine when you talk about Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, the amount or the ability for them to motivate and to bring their agenda forward is remarkable. Ladies and gentlemen, the next slide, I think very briefly, is about the question of, has the struggle for freedom and independence against colonialism and injustice the past 300 years worked? While there is some tangible progress, in broad sense, when you hear the international community, you always hear about this group of countries, where you have North America, Europe, Australia, and maybe Japan. So, answering the question, I mean, my personal view is that these colonial powers emanating from Europe are still very much in the driving seat. This is the international community which controls the financial institutions. I think that's a different topic for a different day, and it's physical and financial policies. Control of the military powers through NATO, for example, comes from this group. If you look at it carefully, it's basically the major colonial powers that are still dominating a unipolar world. There is now a challenge to this crown from Russia, China, and the BRICS countries. So what we can expect is more turbulence on a global scale. Ladies and gentlemen, a final slide, an amazing view of the Joint House of Congress. Supposedly representing freedom and democracy, giving a standing ovation to a convicted ICC criminal for genocide. Milokowski, aka Netanyahu, he's a Polish, he has Polish background, applauding the whole Congress, the joint session of the Congress applauded him 55 times in his 50 minutes of speech. While most of the people in America want an end to the genocide, their elected representatives are on a separate trajectory, revealing vested interests and stranglehold of the Zionist lobby. Gaza is the biggest open-air prison in the world before the genocide. We all are aware of it. This comes from the United Nations high officials. After that, it's the biggest graveyard in the world with tens of thousands, mostly women and children killed. But ladies and gentlemen, not only that, it's a graveyard for all the international humanitarian law. The latest that I heard was in the event of the memorial of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, which is happening, I think, this week, or just happened before, a few days before. A good number of the Western nations are not attending. The reason why they are not attending is Israel has not been invited to attend. And why did the Japanese not invite Israel? Because they were concerned about possible demonstrations and problems during the memorial. So now the question comes as to who is really in control. Has the power shifted from the United States to Israel? Yeah. In 1944, Bretton Woods, New Hampshire, is from the British to the US. The US, is it the time now that we are in the midst of a transition of the global hegemony to Israel? This is a big question, and I have to apologize to our professors. They might not agree with my statements. It's okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, the legacy of Malcolm X's journey of empowerment and equality is more than just a commemoration. It's a call for action. By reflecting on Malcolm X's life and work, we seek to inspire and mobilize our community to uphold the principles of equality, justice, and empowerment that he so passionately advocated. This event is an opportunity to honor his legacy and to reaffirm our commitment to build a fair and just society for all. It's our hope that we will benefit immensely from today's event. Our sincere thanks to the speakers for sharing their time and knowledge today. And thank you to the working committee that has put up an excellent effort to make this event a success. Thank you, IAS. Ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Thank you very much, Al-Hajj Muhammad Jamaluddin, for this heartwarming speech. It is indeed a call to action. Without action, we can only think and reflect. But with our actions, things are going to change for the better. Of course, Malcolm X stood the time in history because of his contributions to humanity. But definitely we know he is no more. But have you ever asked yourself, who is going to be the next Malcolm X? Is it going to be me or is it going to be you? The time to prepare is now, because he himself said, the future belongs to those who create it today. And I trust we are very agile, we are very prepared to take up the challenge that the world is putting before us. Thank you very much once again for this very inspiring speech. Ladies and gentlemen, respected participants, on the agenda, we are moving quickly, inshallah, to the keynote speech by Dr. Mazli Malik, the chairman, International Islamic Institute of Advanced Islamic Studies. May I have the pleasure to warmly welcome you on stage to give us your speech. Thank you very much as you welcome. Thank you so much.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and a very good morning to everybody. Haji Engineer Muhammad Jamal Shamsuddin, Professor Dr. Said Farid Alatas, Associate Professor Dr. Ridwan Fontaine, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, Salam Sejahtera and Salam Madani. It is a great honor to address all of you this morning at the forum on the legacy of Malcolm X, organized by iaismalaysia in collaboration with ASEAN. We gather here united by our shared commitment to justice, human dignity, and the pursuit of peace. Today, I would like to draw inspiration from the life and legacy of a monumental figure in the struggle of human rights and social justice, Mr. Al-Hajj Malik al-Shabazz, or widely known as Malcolm X. But I think when we look at Malcolm X, it goes beyond human rights and social justice. It's about persuasion of love and humanity. I still remember his famous quotation when he said, "A man who believes in freedom will do anything under the sun to acquire or preserve his freedom." And this is what's happening. We look nowadays in places like Gaza and other places when people were deprived of their freedom, they're fighting to acquire back their freedom. They do anything. Ladies and gentlemen, Malcolm X, born as Malcolm Little, as mentioned by Haji Jamaluddin, on May the 19th, 1925, in Omaha, Nebraska, was a pivotal figure in the American civil rights movement, known for his unwavering advocacy for Black nationalism, self-reliance, and human dignity. Malcolm X's journey from troubled youth to a leading voice for African American empowerment is a testament to the transformative power of resilience and education. Brothers and sisters, as we were all informed, Malcolm's early year of life was marked by profound hardship. His father, Baptist minister and supporter of Marcus Garvey, was likely murdered when Malcolm was only just 6 years old. His mother was institutionalized shortly thereafter, leaving Malcolm and his siblings in foster care. This challenging upbringing led him to a life of crime and street hustling in Boston and New York City. However, it was during his and many other activists, thinkers who were inmates like him, before and after him, reading has managed to turn people into extremism and radicalism. The most famous example